Good morning, guys. Okay, today we are going to complete those activities about Unit 5 vocabulary that you did last week. And we start on page 61, the title of our unit. Soulmates is something everyone is looking for in life. A close companion, a friend, somebody to share your life with. So you have to start. You have a quote by Jess C. Scott. Friends are the family you choose. What is the meaning of that? Do you agree or do you disagree with that idea? Well, it's true. You can't choose your family members, but you can choose your friends. So it's food for thought. If we look at the unit contents in this unit, the vocabulary is relationships, and I have added extra vocabulary with the photocopies that we're going to look at now. Let's go to activity 1 on page 62. In activity 1, the following sentences are illogical or replace the words in color with words in color from other sentences. This new vocabulary, you have verbs, for example, to date, that means to go out with someone, to treat, that everybody knows, to ignore, to divorce, or the adjective divorced, and you have also nouns such as a relative, which is a family member. You have a fiancé, which is a person you get engaged with because you're getting married. And you have, for example, the adjective single, which in English is used to talk about a person who has no partner. You don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, a husband or a wife. So it's a word that implies that you currently don't have someone with you in life. So these words obviously are in the wrong sentences. So we're going to see the answers. Let's go to the next activity. In number 2, you have these collocations. Some of them are phrasal verbs, and you have to complete the sentences with the correct form of those expressions. So we have, for example, to break up, which means to end a relationship. You are not dating anymore. To have got a lot in common with the other person. You share interests, ideas. To fall in love, that everybody knows the meaning of. Get to know is a process when you get acquainted with the other person. Its character, likes and dislikes, interests. To grow apart is when there is a distance between you and the other person. To move on means to continue. Close friends are friends that are very, very special. Best friends. To get along is to have a good relationship. To get over is to overcome a difficulty, a breakup, or a problem in a relationship. And to take for granted is when you, for example, don't give value to the other person, and you think that that person is always going to be there with you and you don't care about his or her in a good way. So let's go to the first sentence. Rain and I both love sport and music. We have got a lot in common. Number 2, Jake seems nice. I'd like to get to know him. 3, we used to be close friends. Lately, we've got nothing to say to each other. 4, my sister and I argue a lot. We don't get along. 5, you can't cry over Paul forever. It's time to move on. 6, Anne left Rick a year ago, but he can seem to get over her. 7, Lucy was Harry's girlfriend, but last year they broke up. 8, he is fantastic. I think I'm falling in love. 9, Kath was my best friend for years, but when she moved away, we grew apart. 10, she doesn't talk to me unless she needs help. She really takes me for granted. So be careful when you have to complete these type of activities with the correct form of expressions, because you may have to change the verb to an infinitive, present continuous, past simple, as we can see here. Okay? Let's continue. In activity 3, we are going to work the vocabulary in context. So you have 3 teenagers who have written to Amy's advice column. You have to read the letters, and which problem do you think is the most common? Which is the most serious? Now it depends on you. For example, dear Amy, Tom was my boyfriend for nearly a year, but we argued a lot and eventually we broke up. Now I'm dating Luke. We have got a lot in common and I think we're falling in love, but I still think about Tom sometimes. Do you think it was wrong to break up with him? That's me then. Let's go to B. Dear Amy, since my best friend started dating someone 2 months ago, I feel like we've been growing apart. In fact, she practically ignores me unless she needs something. What should I do? Olivia. And C. Dear Amy, my parents have been divorced for 2 years and now my mom is engaged to another man. She wants me to get to know her fiancé and his kids, but I really don't feel like it. Why do I need all these new relatives in my life? Okay, I could accept any logical answer to these questions. Maybe for you as teenagers, the fact that you could have someone new in your life, or your mom or your dad, could be the most serious one. And maybe you feel identified with one of them. So it depends on you. We have some information at the bottom of the page. A recent study has found that good mental health and having a partner make people happier than doubling their income. So money matters, but up to a point. Let's go to activity 4. Read the responses. What advice does each person get? Type the name of the person under the matching answer. So whenever you send a letter, write an email, or today with new technologies, any tweet on Twitter, or any comment could be answered with a piece of advice or a tip. So here, you have to type the name of the person under the matching answer. So for example, number 1 could be for Jake, number 2 for Megan, and number 3 for Olivia. Great. Any questions so far? No? Fantastic. Let's move on. Okay, let's continue with the correction of the activities, extra vocabulary, love and romance. Number 7, activity 1 is about basic vocabulary. You have to complete the following text with the words and phrases below. So you have the expressions in love, boyfriend and girlfriend, relationship, going out, kissed, romantic, and date. So we have to complete a short text with those words. Let's go. Peter had never had a number 1 girlfriend. Anna had never had a number 2 boyfriend. When they started 3 going out together, they were both very nervous. For the first number 4 date, Peter wanted to take her somewhere, number 5, romantic. So he booked a table at an Italian restaurant. He walked her home. When he left, they, number 6, kissed goodnight. The next day, Anna told her best friend that she was, number 7, in love with Peter, and that this was the first really serious, number 8, relationship in her life. If a girl has a boyfriend and a boy has a girlfriend, they are romantically involved. Girls are also often referred to their female friends as girlfriends. This is in American English. Okay? Let's go to activity 2, crazy about you. You have to match the beginnings and endings of the expressions below. And you use one of the endings twice. So the endings for the sentences are with him, about him, in him, and you. With this activity, you have to learn the use of prepositions with those collocations, verb collocations related to feelings. So for example, number 1, to fancy someone is to like someone. You can say I like you or I fancy you. So number 1, she fancies you. Number 2, she's not really interested, option C, in him. Number 3, she's absolutely crazy, option B, about him, crazy about. Number 4, I don't know what she's, option C, in him. And number 5, she's always flirting, option A, with him. Now you have to use the expressions to complete the following sentences. 6. Julie seems to really like Ian, but personally, I don't know what she sees in him. He must be at least 10 years older than her. 7. John isn't very happy at the moment. He really likes this girl at college, but she's not really interested in him at all. Number 8. Debbie goes bright red every time she talks to you. I'm sure she fancies you. Number 9. Tina spends almost every evening with this new guy she's seeing. She's absolutely crazy about him. And number 10. I'm sure Liz fancies that guy in the accounts department. She's always flirting with him. Okay, let's continue. Number 3, vocabulary related to starting a relationship. Match the beginnings and endings of the sentences below. For example, 1. Sarah's very happy at the moment. She is seeing option D, some guy she met on holiday. Number 2. Have you heard about Mark? He's going out, option C, with Susie Jones, the singer. To go out means to date. Number 3. Have you heard about Laura and Joe? They've started, option A, going out together. 4. Apparently Phil and Liz have been seeing, option E, a lot of each other recently. And finally, number 5. Did Sally tell you about Mike? He asked, option B, her for a date. You can ask somebody for a date, or you can ask somebody out. To ask somebody out. In American English, you say that you are dating somebody instead of saying or going out with them. I am dating Tom. Estoy saliendo con Tom. Let's continue. Activity 4. Falling in love. Read the following sentences and put the words and phrases in color in the correct column below. So you have to classify the expressions, which you can see more or less. No, you can see anything because it's in the instructions on the classroom folder for this activity. Serious could be falling in love, madly in love, absolutely adores, and not serious, a casual relationship, a holiday romance, a brief relationship. Five. The relationship. Match the beginnings of the phrases on the left with the endings on the right. With him or him, with or without preposition. So for example, number 1, she loves, B, him, no preposition. Number 2, she's in love, A, with him, to be in love with. Number 3, she fell in love, option A, with him, to fall in love with someone. Number 4, she kissed him, B. Number 5, she lives, A, with him. And number 6, she married him. To marry somebody, not to marry with. There is no preposition with the verb marry. Now you have to decide if each of the following sentences can end in together, if you can use together in the end. If not, you crisscross it or put a line through it. For example, A, they're going out together is correct. They're sleeping together is correct too. But in option C, they're in love together is incorrect. So you crisscross together. D, they have moved in together. Correct. E, they are always kissing. Together is incorrect in the sentence. F, they live together is okay. G, they are always holding hands. Together is incorrect in this sentence. And H, they are married. Together is incorrect. Let's go to 6. The end of a relationship. Use the expressions in the situations below. Finish with, never stop fighting, split up, had a huge row, weren't right for. A row, it's a fight. An argument. Number 1. Do you think I should invite Jeff and Sue to the party? Haven't you heard? They've finally decided to split up. Split up is a synonym for break up. Number 2. Didn't you know I'm not seeing James anymore? I finished with him last week. It was fine while it lasted, but I think we both knew we weren't right for each other. 3. We invited Dave and Kate over for dinner last Saturday. It was really embarrassing. They had a huge row and Kate went home in the middle of the main course. And 4. Julie and Dave never stop fighting. I'm surprised they stay together. Very often, if two people split up, they tell their friends that we're just good friends now. If you want to deny that you are having a relationship with someone, you can say, we're just good friends, that's all. And finally, activity 7. He's been seeing somebody else. Complete the response in 4 different ways. I hear Mark and Lucy have split up. What happened? She found out that he was, number 1, being, option B, unfaithful. 2, seeing A, somebody else. 3, having D, an affair. Or 4, option C, cheating on her, cheat on somebody. Infiel or to be unfaithful. And by the way, guys, are you romantic? Do you believe in love at first sight? Okay, let's talk about this when we come back. Now you will have the answer key for these complete pages. Okay, let's finish the correction of these vocabulary activities with photocopy 8, marriage. In number 1, you have to translate those basic words into Spanish. So number 1, engaged means comprometido, comprometida, o comprometidos. Number 2, a wedding means boda. 3, married, casados, casado o casada. Number 4, marriage, matrimonio. 5, wife, esposa. 6, husband, marido. 7, divorce, divorcio. Number 8, divorced, divorciado, divorciada o divorciado. Number 2, getting engaged. Getting engaged in Spanish means comprometerse. Use the correct form of these words and expressions. You have get engaged, comprometerse, arrange, organizar, arreglar, propose to propose means proponer el matrimonio, ask, pedir, and to set a date, y establecer una fecha, fijar una fecha. So you have to complete those sentences with the correct form. For example, I've got some news. I'm really excited. Mark asked me to marry him last night. I said yes. Number 2, I remember the day my husband proposed to me. We were on holiday in Greece. It was very romantic. 3, have you heard? Martin and Lisa have just got engaged. They're planning to get married next year. Really? That's fantastic. Have they set a date? 4. In some countries, parents arrange their children's marriages. They look for a suitable partner for their son or daughter to marry. The man you are engaged to is your fiancé. The woman you are engaged to is your fiancé. Nowadays, these words are less common, but they are very used in American English. So as you can see, they are words that come from French. Number 3, before the wedding. Julie and Dave are getting married next month. Match the beginnings of the phrases on the left with the endings on the right. So, number 1, Julie has sent out, option E, invitations to all the wedding guests. A wedding guest, invitado. Number 2, Dave has asked, option H, his brother to be best man. Best man, padrino. Number 3, Dave booked G, the hotel for the reception. The reception, el banquete de boda. Number 4, Julie has bought A, her wedding dress. 5. They've bought each other F. Wedding rings, alianzas. 6. They've made C. A wedding list. 7. Julie's going to have option D. A hang night on the Friday before the wedding. A hang night, una despedida de soltera. Number 8. Dave's going to have B. A stag night on the Friday before the wedding. Stag night, despedida de soltero. A wedding list is a list of the wedding presents you want, usually from one big department store. Number 6. The wedding. The following events describe a traditional wedding. You have to put them in the correct order. So what could be number 1? So number 1 is F. The bride arrives at the church late. Number 2 is letter C. Her father walks down the aisle with her. The aisle, el pasillo de la iglesia. Number 3, option G. The couple make their wedding vows. Son los votos matrimoniales. Number 4, option I. The happy couple walk back up the aisle, man and wife. Number 5, option A. Their friends throw confetti at them. In Spain, we throw rice. Or petals, flower petals. Number 6, option E. They spent ages taking photographs. Number 7, option H. They go to a hotel for the wedding reception. Number 8, option B. They cut the cake and make speeches. To make a speech, hacer un discurso o decir unas palabras. And finally, number 9 is option D. They leave for the honeymoon. Honeymoon? Luna de miel. In Britain, people either have a church wedding or they have a civil ceremony in a registry office. In Spain too. We don't have both as in some countries. If people get married in church, they usually have a white wedding. The bride wears a traditional white dress. Let's go to number 7. They're happily married. Use these words and expressions in the text below. I'm Keith Barrett. I'm 21 and a student. I'm still single and probably won't get married till I'm nearer 30. My parents are very, number 2, happily married. They were married for 3 years before I was born. So next year they're celebrating their silver wedding anniversary. Last year my grandparents celebrated their golden wedding, 50 years with the same person. That's quite an achievement. Absolutely. Number 8. When things go wrong. Sometimes things go well and others go wrong. We have different expressions here. Destroyed our marriage, broke up, get a divorce, left him, got custody of the children, saved our marriage, didn't work out, and separated. So you have to complete with those expressions. Number 1. His wife left him 2 years ago for another man. Number 2. I was so happy when I got married, but things didn't work out and we split up 3 years ago. 3. Our marriage broke up after my wife discovered I'd been sleeping with somebody else. 4. My wife and I separated last year. We hadn't been very happy for a while. We have now decided that the best thing is to get a divorce. 5. A few years ago, my husband started seeing another woman. I tried to forgive him, but it was impossible. In the end, it destroyed our marriage. These activities aren't feminist, okay? The one who is cheating is always the husband. Number 6. Things started to go wrong after about 3 years. I guess we just got bored of each other. Then I had a baby and things got much better. I think that's what saved our marriage. 7. I got divorced 5 years ago. Unfortunately, my ex-wife got custody of the children, and now I only see them at the weekend and for a few weeks during the summer. Your ex-wife or ex-husband is the person you were married to before your divorce. When people are asking, they often just say ex. I got divorced last year, but I still see my ex sometimes. Okay, so these are the corrections. Now you can see the complete answer key for these 2 pages too. I hope you didn't get too many mistakes. And that's all for today, guys. We'll talk again tomorrow. Bye. Have a nice day, but stay safe and continue inside.